Oh my god. I hate that. Jesus. All right. That was the worst.
But the best.
No, that was just straight up the worst. So episode 31. What is this, 31?
31.
You ask
31.
what episode it is every beginning of the episode.
Yeah, because I don't think about what episode it is until this moment.
Episode 31. Uno.
It is episode 31 of the NerdTurd podcast. It's holiday season, baby.
We do have this doc that literally says
The title is
Bro, I'm
episode
scrolled
31.
way past that. I'm scrolled so far past the first line of this.
Yeah, you're scrolled past the first quarter of this. We know.
So Christmas is in the air.
Christmas.
At the time of this recording, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, but by the time you listen to this, that means it's officially Christmas season. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
December.
It is December.
second.
In my opinion, Christmas starts November 1. But
Not everyone shares that.
unequivocally, undisputed, the
Nope.
undisputed champion of Christmas is December 1st.
That's what I'm talking about.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And here at the Nerd Turd podcast, December is Star Wars month.
Yeah, which is the reason why Chris decided he was going to blow out your car speakers this morning.
You're welcome. Now you're thinking about Darth Maul.
That is probably the most iconic sound that I can think of in Star Wars, which is something we're going to talk about later. But in this specific episode, we are just going to take a dive into our favorites of Star Wars.
Ooh.
Because really, going to, what is it, the end of this month? When's the actual release date of
20th.
Rise of the Skywalker drops December 20th. So leading up to that, we are having a month of Star Wars.
All Star Wars all month.
All the time.
And today's going to be cool because I think for everyone, Star Wars is one of those movies or just series that you just like remember. Like that just as a kid, like it's just one of those things that it's more than just a movie. It really is a culture. It's created its own subculture.
It definitely has created its own subculture. That's definitely a thing. To the point where it's almost like the people that are really deep into that subculture are almost like completely unsatisfied with everything about Star Wars.
Yeah,
in the
they
last...
can't enjoy Star Wars.
Seriously, and that's almost a thing. Like I feel like that happens with video games. I genuinely feel like that's what happened with Destiny.
Yeah.
Wow.
And for all of you video game nerds out there, like I just think people enjoyed that game for whatever 3 years or however long it released, and then Destiny 2 came out. And everyone thought it was just going to be like this, like, bell curve of just excitement. But it was like, if you go too far away from it, it's like not Destiny or Star Wars for the sake of this conversation anymore. But if you stay too similar, everyone's like, that was just like episode 6.
Are you kidding me?
This is just like the original trilogy.
Oh
But the main issues with the prequels was everyone was so upset that they were so different. They were so different than the original trilogy. So I don't know. Star Wars is very
Fandom is a
interesting.
cool thing.
Fandom is a cool thing, and Star Wars is a really cool thing. And then we're going to do some popping off as well. And so let's get into that because... Well, I guess I should
tell them... Hold on. You got to introduce us first, but also go ahead and prep them for the spoilers that we're going to have at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
so, Gene, what date does that episode drop?
December 23rd.
Okay, so... the Monday following the Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Which is the 23rd. I'm assuming Gene is right on that.
I believe that is correct.
We will be doing a spoiler-filled episode. Review, hype, info dump of Rise of the Skywalker. It'll
Reaction.
be very
early
exciting.
Christmas present for all you nerds.
Right. It'll be an early Christmas present. You're welcome.
Plan to see Rise of Skywalker in that window.
Yeah, so don't say we didn't get you guys anything, but I'm sitting straight across from one of my good friends, Brown Eyes Brown Tiger. How's your week been, man?
It's been pretty good. It's a short week, so it's Wednesday now, and I am off work. So I don't have to go back to work until Monday.
Oh, you're off on Friday, too? I have to work on Black Friday,
Do you
which
really?
is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm off, bro. I'm going to be chilling.
Yeah, the company that I work for decided that I didn't need to see my family anymore, which maybe they're right. Who knows?
Yeah, family time on Thanksgiving. It's good.
Yeah.
A lot of tryptophan. That's like the chemical that they say turkey makes you release.
Yeah.
Makes you sleepy.
No, it doesn't make you release it. It's in turkey.
You guys want to take
it's
you guys want to
turkey.
take a quick detour right here? What is
Sure.
your favorite Thanksgiving
Oh, that's a good
item?
one. This is a good one.
Ooh. Cranberry sauce.
That's
Dude,
not
I
true.
swear I love cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
I love cranberry sauce. You put it on the dressing, you put it on turkey.
That's the same thought. Is ketchup your favorite condiment?
No, I don't like ketchup. I don't love tomatoes. I like cranberry sauce because I like cranberries. It's not even the same. What are you talking about?
That's the most Chris answer to that question that I could have thought of.
They're
All of the
delicious. They're
Thanksgiving
sugary
things.
fruit.
No, I don't like tomatoes.
Tomatoes
Gene, what's
are
your
fine. I don't
favorite,
like
dog?
ketchup.
Green bean casserole.
See, that is an
Ooh.
actual item.
Cranberry sauce is
No.
an item for Thanksgiving.
No, it's just
We got to ask the people. That's going to be a poll this week.
Well, it'll be like outdated by the Thanksgiving will be over by the time they're listening. To
Yeah.
this.
Hey, cranberry sauce is
People are gonna
versatile.
be-
You can
but it's
eat it
worth
in
it, I
Christmas
guess.
too.
people are going to be so sick.
People
of,
be eating
of this kind
cranberries.
of food by the time they hear it.
That is true.
They're going to be vomiting. They're going to be right now when people are listening. They're going to be thinking about all the calories that they consumed and how they can get it off.
They're going to be
before they-
listening on a treadmill at their local YMCA right now.
Yeah, before they do it all again on Christmas.
Yeah. And eat more cranberry sauce.
I don't actually feel like I eat that much on Christmas. Honestly,
Not really.
it's not. I feel like it's portrayed as like this big
Yeah.
meal time. But
Yeah.
have you ever read A Christmas Story?
Yeah.
A Christmas Story. Is that what it's called?
Night before Christmas?
Yes.
Yes.
Where like at the very end, he's like, "We got this big old goose."
Yeah.
I don't know.
So goosey.
I don't feel like that's ever been a thing in my family. I feel like I eat eggs in the morning and then open up some presents.
Also, Phasma and Dwayne are
They're in the spirit.
Sporting
They're
their
festive.
spirit, their Christmas
They're in the
cheer.
spirit. And you guys will notice that each week as we get closer to Christmas, the studio will get more Christmas-fied.
Progressively more jolly.
Yeah. So be excited for
That's
that.
a good way to put it.
So get ready. And then Gene,
Hi.
single, ready to mingle.
Domingo.
You know you didn't say that. last
Christopher
week.
Kringles
Whoa.
coming with a gift for you.
Jingle, jingle.
This is so stupid.
What if your gift was a woman?
What if?
What if?
Hmm.
I asked you. You can't ask me
know.
back
What-
after I just asked you.
Yeah, dude. You don't know how what ifs work?
Sorry,
Serious?
no, sorry.
What you been doing, man? You had a good week?
Yeah, just been chilling. I also am off work until Sunday, not Monday.
I hate you guys.
But
I have one
Let's
day
go.
off. I have one day off, and I'm going to literally be cooking from sun up to sundown. Pit boss.
making everyone else
Pit
thankful that you're there.
boss.
Yeah, the thing that's so frustrating about Thanksgiving is like, especially, so I smoke a turkey, which if you guys, I'm sure that you guys are, have your opinions on turkey. Smoking a turkey is the best way to eat it, bar none, hands down. Frying turkey is for plebs, and then cooking
I
it
disagree with that.
cooking it in the oven is basically like, how can I destroy the integrity of this turkey?
I agree with that.
It tastes like a dried. It's like licking a sand dune. It's just the driest way. It's just too big. It's too big and too dense, and it cooks too unevenly.
Your turkey was really good.
It
the
was
other
very
day.
yeah,
good.
I'm
Was
telling
great.
you, and it banged. And you know what? I didn't even put seasoning on the skin, dog. So y'all didn't even get the full.
It was
experience.
delicious. I'm
Mainly
not
because
gonna
I
lie.
forgot to go to the store.
But
But I did not forget to go to the store for the Thanksgiving turkey. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
you like turkey.
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 That would be my favorite dish for sure.
Turkey.
All right, let's get into some popping off. Gene, you've got some big news.
Oh, I do.
You put something in our Discord.
Ooh,
I did.
Gene.
By the
made
way,
a-
check out
made
the
a move.
Discord. There's a
I
link
did.
to it in the show notes if you guys ever
I
want to see
did.
Gene's life.
I got a couple. Yeah, I tried to. So we talked about Black Friday deals on our last episode. Told you guys, most of the stuff that I end up buying is usually
Chris influenced.
Chris Brown Eyes Brown Dragon influenced.
You're right. You're darn right.
And if you're in a Discord, you already know that I did. I bit the bullet and I bought the Xbox One X Star Wars.
The Xbox One X Xbox.
The
Jedi
Xbox
Fallen
One
Order
X.
bundle. So,
Teraflops of power.
Have you
There you go.
actually
got it.
dove into Fallen Order yet or no?
Yeah, a little bit. So it took some time to set up. I got it this afternoon, so because I was off. So
Takes a while to learn how to control those teraflops.
that is true. I set it up. Got the Xbox set up. Downloaded the game and played a little bit. Played the
How's
first
it
couple
look?
missions. It looks great. It's pretty
It
sweet.
is really fun.
It's pretty sweet. So
Ugh. Maybe I need to buy
But
it. I
it's a lot of
probably
fun.
would buy it if it was on sale for Black Friday, but I don't think it's on sale
I mean,
anywhere.
it came out yesterday.
Instead, I'm gonna be lame and I'm gonna buy Madden.
You can probably get it. It's probably gonna be cheap, right?
Madden's $27.
But I was telling Chris
Get
that
Madden
like
right.
the only
So
part
we
that
can
I don't
game
like,
draft
which he helped
champions.
me like understand, is that like this is the type of game that I love, but the only part that I haven't loved so far is that I have to play as this guy. Like I want this.
Kestas.
I don't want to have to play as Cal. I want to play as like this creative, like a creative
creative
person.
player,
Like I want to
yeah,
create
yeah.
someone to place in this story, you know. And I know there's a lot of customizable stuff down the road from what I've heard, but that's the only part I haven't liked
There
so
definitely
far.
is that. Yeah, there's a
But-
lot of customizable stuff. The thing, yeah, and so the thing with Star Wars is they're so like nitpicky about what they make as a video game because everything's lore that I wish that they would just make like
An
uh,
uncanon, like non-canon video game.
yeah. Well, this is interesting though. This like you're gonna learn a lot, especially you with your current journey going through Star Wars. Basically,
Yeah.
from where you are now, you're starting at the beginning and going straight through. This is actually gonna be this is coming at a good time for you. You're about to watch Episode 3, right?
Yes.
So this Fallen Order literally takes place directly. It takes place 5 years after Episode 3.
Ooh.
I didn't know the timeline of it. So
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
that's
So-
interesting.
You need to watch episode 3 tonight and
I
then
do
game
need to watch it.
tomorrow.
and
then
then, but I
for
want a
you-
game tonight.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
we've
pretty
seen
fun.
Episode 3 before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you get the idea, but no. So it's a lot of fun. You're gonna dig it. It's a really fun time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I
It's
need to
pretty fun.
buy it.
So because I was frustrated about that too, but the story is actually pretty litty.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris when we were talking about it on the way here, actually, I was telling him about it, and he was like, well, it's canon now, so like you need to know this, like everything is canon. It's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like that makes me a little bit more like okay with having to play as this specific story.
Cal
You know,
Kestis.
and a specific
That's why I've
guy,
been
so
watching
pretty cool.
Rebels, literally just because it's canon. So I want to know it
You want to know what happens?
because I'm not gonna miss any references. So we asked. Well, last week we talked a little bit. I'm not really sure why it came up, but we did talk a little bit about our Hogwarts houses, and then we
Which are
asked on
pretty
our,
awesome.
on our
I think it was
socials.
a spin-off of our Enneagram discussion.
Oh.
yeah. So I think
That see to me, honestly, even though I know it's more narrow, I feel like where you get sorted from the sorting hat is a much better indication of what kind of person you are than in the Enneagram.
hot takes.
Yeah,
Maybe,
because
yeah.
but what the sorting hat tells you is what kind of person you're going to be when the pressure's on.
But
you
you
know?
could choose.
Now you're going down a rabbit hole.
That's literally the whole point of Harry. You could choose because the sorting hat was going to put him in Slytherin.
Yeah,
But
But
he
it
didn't want to
didn't.
be in Slytherin.
Yeah,
because he
he
didn't want to
chose.
be in Slytherin. He said anything but Slytherin.
Yeah.
Anything but Slytherin.
What
And
if
this-
Harry would have been in Hufflepuff?
but
Well,
see,
what would
do you
have changed
think
about the
do you
story?
think you can choose like that? Like, do you think Hermione could have been like? Well, I guess they say you can. It takes like your feelings into account.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say you can straight up choose. And so I think because the sorting hat was divided, let's not go down an entire rabbit hole here, but I think because the sorting hat was divided, it took his feelings into account. But I don't think Hermione could have said, I want to be in Slytherin, and she would have been there. You know?
I used to use that as reasoning for telling people what house I was in. If that gives you guys any clue.
Go ahead and let them know what house you're in, Gene.
So we put a poll out. We got some responses from you guys. And honestly, a lot of people pegged it right on the head. So, Gene, you want to start?
Yeah, I can. I'm not ashamed anymore. I think you guys
Let us
act like
know,
I'm not
Gene.
ashamed,
What
man.
are you?
I'm a loyal and proud Hufflepuff.
Yeah, dude. You badger, you
Yep.
In that
badger.
house. I will say, and then this has always been the frustrating thing, I do feel like Hufflepuff has the coolest like house colors.
Yellow and black.
Yeah, like the garnet and gold to me feels like a middle school C team football uniform, and then
The green and silver.
green and silver just looks like why would anyone want that color
Yeah.
combination? And then I guess Ravenclaw is pretty cool. I can
Blue
get down
and
with
black.
Yeah,
blue and silver.
Ravenclaw's not bad.
I can get down with
But-
Ravenclaw.
But no, I did for the longest time. I used to use that, like,
As
that rabbit hole in the movies and in the books that the Sorting Hat takes. Because for a long time I was ashamed of the fact that I was Hufflepuff. I used that as like reasoning for if I want to be a Gryffindor, I'm in Gryffindor. But the first time that I ever took the Pottermore quiz, it gave me Hufflepuff. and I promise you, I closed my laptop and didn't open Pottermore for months because I was
Forget
like,
this.
so
I'm going to
ashamed
Dermstag.
and hurt but then I embraced it, so I decided that there's nothing wrong.
Do you
with
think
being
it's
a
just
Hufflepuff.
because the name is Hufflepuff? Like, do you think it's that? Like, because it's not like Ravenclaw does anything cool in the
I just
books.
think Hufflepuff it for some reason has seemed to be like the place where everybody else goes, which I don't think is true because I think they have their place. But I don't know. It's
I mean, I
just
guess I
been
get that, but like in the books, Hufflepuff never really does anything very significant.
Cedric Diggory.
I mean, right. I mean, there's one exception, but like if you take that one person out, the rest of Hufflepuff could basically not exist, and it wouldn't really affect the story all that much. You know? And so, but like, I mean, you could probably honestly say that about Ravenclaw too.
Dude, Cho.
Right, but you could just replace Cho with another person, and then Ravenclaw would be insignificant. You know what I mean? So like they clearly put an emphasis on Gryffindor and Slytherin, you know, but I don't know. I think it's honestly just because the name is Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I could
It's
see
just
that.
a very like.
I was not excited.
Honestly,
for
it's
long
just a
time.
very like feminine name, you know, and so I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
So like maybe girls like Hufflepuff, maybe.
Maybe, but it's like when you're comparing just the like initial impression, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff. You know, like they send two different messages. Or even Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Like Ravenclaw's a cool name. Hufflepuff is like, I'm gonna huff and I'm gonna puff and I'm
It
gonna blow your house down.
always reminded me of like Powder Puff football.
Exactly, Powderpuff Girls.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's just part of it. So maybe girls don't have that instinctual like I don't know. I feel like I'm on the edge of going down an offensive path. So I'm going to steer away from it.
Steer away. I'll take it. I, Brown Eyes, Brown Dragon, am part of the cunning Ravenclaws.
You actually got sorted into Ravenclaw.
Mm-hmm. Every single time I've taken any test. I really think it's just because, like, I always pick I like to read. Like, I literally think that is, like,
The one
one question where if you pick that in any Harry Potter quiz, you get sorted into Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw.
Fits.
Me and Cho, both of the Orient.
Do you feel like that fits? Do you feel like that fits you?
Yeah.
I honestly could see you also being in Hufflepuff.
Why?
Because
I'm not very loyal. I'm not dependable at all.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think, Gene?
Why are you looking at me on this?
No.
Gene is super loyal.
Yeah, Gene's like the guy you always go to. You never know what you're going to get with him.
But Gene's like psychopathically loyal. You know, like if he says something, he will do it come hell or high water.
I mean, that is true.
I'm the opposite of that. I'm in Gryffindor, baby. I will say, though, I feel like if I didn't take that test with bias, I could see myself ending up in Slytherin.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like, I feel like
the
I
line
probably...
between Gryffindor and Slytherin is,
It's a
I feel
thin
like,
line,
thin.
dude. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. But I guess if like you had to ask me if I was in a high pressure situation, if I was going to end up to be more like Draco Malfoy, or I won't use Harry Potter because that's the extreme example.
Ron Weasley.
Yeah, I'll take that. There's no way that I would take the like Weasley way out.
That's not the right word you should have used right there.
Did you mean
I
like?
guess
Did you mean like? Did you mean
That's-
Weasley or like
that's
Weasley?
Good. That's confusing word choice right there.
The cowardly,
I know what you meant, but
the cowardly Draco Malfoy way out.
yeah, I agree with that. Draco's a little punk, dude.
Like there is just no way that I would.
Can we stop and still just ponder the fact that to describe that Kevin literally used a word that
I didn't even think about it.
One syllable away from the character's life. Of all words he could have picked to describe
Yeah, what are the odds?
Ron Weasley versus Draco Malfoy, he went with Weasley.
I'm honestly surprised you guys called it. I didn't even think of it. That didn't even cross my mind.
That's just quality content right there.
Yeah, you know, and it happened so naturally.
Gryffindor.
So there you go.
No,
There's our Hogwarts
yeah,
houses.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I do.
Oh, can I show you guys something but that I forgot to show last week before we move on?
Yeah,
into
come
the
on.
Star Wars stuff.
You got control of everything.
So that is true. This is another gift from our good friend Steven Casper.
Dude, Casper's so generous.
That I forgot to put on last week, and then I forgot to bring, so I didn't talk about it. But You guys know that we are fans of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne.
And
You mean Santa Dwayne?
our love has grown.
Dude, hold that thing up close,
So,
bro. Get that thing in there.
bro. You can see
The
it.
thing is
Look at
so
it.
Get that
tough,
thing in there, dude. Look at that. Is
Dwayne,
that from?
look at
Is
that.
that from?
Look at that. Look at his
Definitely a Fast
bicep.
and the Furious.
Is that Hobbs and Shaw? Is that a Hobbs and Shaw?
Gotta be.
I don't know. I was leaving work one day, and like I guess almost 2 weeks ago now. Casper goes, "Hey," he said, "Turn around, come back. I have something for you." And I was just like, "What is it? What else is he about to give us?" Because Casper has been very generous and given us a lot of stuff, and we love him. And I pulled back in the parking lot, and he had the phone case in his hand. So
What a gift, man.
Nailed it.
there you
baby.
go.
Nailed
Perfect.
That's what I'm talking about, Casper.
Very on brand.
Nailed
Thank you,
it.
Casper. So
it. So anyway, those are our houses. So there was a bunch of people that guessed me both. At first, when people started guessing me Slytherin, I was like, "You chumps." But then I was like, "I guess I could see it."
Yeah, I could see it. I think me and you both kind of toe the line between our houses. Because I'm not your typical, like, super smart person. I think I'm, like, witty at times, but not, like, overly witty. So
I
could
think
maybe fall
maybe
into
this
Hufflepuff,
isn't a. Never mind.
but I'm a Ravenclaw.
I'll accept my results. I accept my results of Gryffindor, but if the sorting hat would have put me in Slytherin, I guess I would get it.
yeah, no one would have been upset about it.
They'd probably honestly be more in line with it,
That would
honestly.
make more sense.
Hey now. Easy. Easy, champ. All right, so what else we got in Poppin' Off? You got some shoe links you want to show off, huh, Gene?
Oh yeah, I do.
Dude, and they are sweet.
Also, last week we talked about Baby Yoda merch.
That's the funny one. This is the first one. So literally in the episode, Chris is like, "Yeah, dude, there's not going to be any Baby Yoda
because there was
merch as a-
verified sources out that said
So-
that. And literally, I'm not kidding you, I think it was...
Look at it.
I think it
Literally
was.
the
I sent
day
you that.
after.
No, that was the night after. I sent
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
a
it
text
was on
in
the
our
way.
like group chat, and I said our episode did not age well.
Literally,
Yeah, the date on that is
Baby-
November 21st, right?
That's
Baby
literally when
Yoda
we
merch will
recorded.
arrive in time for the holiday.
So if you want your little plush baby Yoda
Dude,
to
Chris,
put on your bed,
Chris is plugged in, dude. He's got sources. If you ever need some hot info,
I am in
So-
the know. If you need some
There
There was
leaks, I
just-
got you.
I just like I couldn't even believe there was a second that you were thinking that
I just went off the
Disney,
sources.
Disney was
dog.
not going to capitalize off the cash cow that they created in Baby Yoda.
Well, they didn't. That's like what this article. I was reading a little bit about this article, and that's what it was saying. Like that they're learning from their past mistakes. So apparently, in 1977, when A New Hope came out, kids were hoping for all kinds of these things, and they didn't plan well, and so there were no action figures or toys for kids available until the spring of 1978. So like 6 months later. Like,
I bet those things freaking
months
flew off
later.
the shelves. Though.
Oh my goodness!
So
I bet-
this is what apparently this is something along the lines of what kids who wanted Star Wars merch for Christmas in 1977 got.
Dude, that thing is
just-
that's
just-
like a fold-out box. That's like a
promise,
pop-up book.
the promise of what was to come. Is
Hey
what they
guys,
got.
we got you a pop-up book of the toys that we're gonna sell you in 6 months.
So,
Hey, you can join the Space Club though. Check out the
but
Space
yeah,
Club
so
card,
Baby Yoda merch is in fact coming.
dude. And I
So-
will be partaking. There will be something Baby
Is
Yoda
it?
in the NerdTurd studio in
Yeah.
the near
Do you think
future.
they're ever gonna name that?
Yeah, I think we're gonna find its identity. It's gonna have
so
a name.
cute. It's so cute.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't
cute.
know if they name it.
I think they name it.
Oh man, that's so
But
I
cute.
back to shoes.
I think the only way they name it is if.
Oh,
it's
do you
want
want to see the shoes?
Dude,
immediately?
yes,
Yeah.
I want to see these shoes.
All right, I'm gonna go back to this then. So we'll pop up Yoda again, and then
Look at how cute
So,
he is.
I know we talked about some shoes last week,
Boy.
and the ones that we like brought out were like they were okay, but then a friend of mine, Davis, actually sent me this stuff.
But these
So
are freaking tough
if
as
you
nails.
are, yeah, if you really are into the shoe game, and you're familiar with Hypebeast, this is the collab with Adidas.
They
that
look
all
so
of these are doing.
good.
So Hypebeast is collabing with Adidas, and there's quite a few styles. So this
Look
one,
at Yoda just meditating in the background, thinking about what sick shoe drip he's gonna have coming
Yeah,
out
so this
today on
is-
Dagobah.
there's a Yoda one. There's a Yoda colorway, styleway. There's a Vader one. That one looked pretty sweet. Both of those two are my favorite.
I can't tell if I actually like the shoe of that or just the image.
Yeah, the Vader.
Yeah,
one.
man,
You know
it
what I'm
just looks
saying?
So tough in the back.
Then we have this one.
Is
So,
that like Ray? Supposed to be
I
Ray in the
don't know
background,
what that
or
was
just
supposed to be.
like
it's very ambiguous back
just
there.
main Force user?
Yeah.
A
so,
Force user shoe.
then it's like a space one. It's pretty sweet.
I think that's honestly I think that's
It looks like
supposed
the
to be the
Mandalorian skull in the
Mandalorian
back.
skull.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong on that, but
So
I feel
Oh,
like
I guess I can read these down here. I just really looked at them honestly earlier. So
That's a
R2.
droid shoe.
No, that's
Yeah.
R2D2, dog.
and then
Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. So
Dude,
I'll
their
go back to-
storm ones are kind of tough.
Go back to Yoda. So yeah, so Star Wars and Adidas originals. So the NMD R1 and the Night Jogger are the two styles. So there's a Vader, nod to Vader, Yoda, Rey. So yes, Rey. Princess Leia. So that was the
Oh, her space zoom.
yeah, Princess Leia, R2D2, and the Stormtrooper. So I'm guessing there's a picture of all of
Wait,
Dang, look
okay.
at all of
Why
them.
would Princess Leia get her own shoe? Right
them. So
Bro,
I'm
Princess
guessing
Leia is
that
a
one,
big deal, bro.
Yeah, is this
Dude,
one's
I
Leia,
just
I'm
wish
guessing.
that glow would actually happen. Like, I definitely would buy shoes, like the little kid shoes that light up. I definitely would buy a pair of shoes that like lit up as I walked.
Yeah, so they're pretty sweet.
No,
But-
you wouldn't.
That's all of
Dude,
them.
I would.
No,
If they
you
were
wouldn't.
like legit shoes that people like knew had some cred, I wouldn't like go to Walmart and buy like a
Some
pair of
cred.
shoes that light up.
A
but, like,
blankie shoes,
yeah, I wouldn't do that. But like, if people were like, "Dude, you got the new Star Wars R2D2 flashy flash,"
bro. Your wife
Yeah.
would throw those shoes into an incinerator.
nah, dude, I'd be dripping everywhere. Drop, 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 drop.
No, those are cool. That might be one of the first pairs of like expensive shoes that I get.
Yeah,
Please, dude.
I'm not
They're
big.
pretty
I'm not
sweet.
big into the shoe game, but
They're pretty sweet.
Those are cool.
Yeah,
those
I
are
like
those are
them.
pretty tough. Those are pretty tough. And let's see here. DC movie news.
Yeah, this is our only
A
bit
ton
of
it.
non Star Wars related stuff, basically for the day.
Pull this link up for us here,
I'll
Genie.
pop it
Weenie.
up for you guys real quick.
I'm a fan of just
Um,
great looking.
Oh, we put
images,
this on
too.
our
Yeah.
our story, right?
Yeah.
Our Instagram story.
Yep. So
Follow the Nerd Turd Instagram if you guys haven't
there's just
already.
some details about some
Yeah.
potential
A couple
stuff.
of things. Our friend J.J. Abrams, who also is doing Rise of Skywalker, has been in talks to produce the reboot of Superman. And Michael B. Jordan is in talks to be Superman.
Okay, so right here, the first thing I noticed on Birds of Prey, it says reshoots have dramatically improved test screenings. To me, that says
this is going to be a terrible movie.
no. To me, that says that what's the dude's name that played the Joker?
Joaquin
What? Not Joaquin.
Jared Leto.
Leto.
He's gone out.
I think they've already said he's gone. Like, he's not going to be anything anymore.
They've said that officially.
think
I have
so.
not seen that.
I think they said that his Joker's not going to appear again.
The only thing I saw was they were going to bring back Joaquin for a Joker too.
Joaquin. That actually that's
yeah,
not
then
happening.
they get canned.
Yeah,
Didn't they
that
talk
was like
about
a
that?
false leak.
That though, that is very sick. But sorry about that. But yeah, this is all the. So we know a lot about the Batman already. This says only a few scenes will be set in Arkham Asylum. All the villains are being primed for. Oh, that's kind of cool. Potential standalone movies.
That'd be sweet.
Superman. Yep. J.J. Abrams, like you were talking about, Chris. Michael B. Jordan.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Has met with WB about the role, but has not committed to it yet. And 2023 is when that's coming out. We just talked about Birds of Prey. This stuff down here at the bottom was a little bit interesting. This is a little bit more ambiguous kind of stuff, but Green Lantern. So, Green Lantern Corpse remains a priority. Script by the end of this year. Greg Berlanti. Do you guys know who that is? I don't.
Dude,
I don't know who that is. Sounds cool though.
dude, that Green Lantern movie is going to be trash.
There is no way that it will be worse than the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. No way.
That's
I
true.
kind of like that.
But here,
that
I'm going
movie.
to be honest with you. Maybe it'll look better because just technology is improved.
Definitely.
But I think that could be easily a worse movie that you are more disgusted to watch. I will say I actually did go back and watch some like scenes from that movie, and it's like breathtaking how bad it. I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really feel this way at
it's
the
not good.
time. Like I
need to rewatch it.
I mean, it was obviously very CGI'd, but like at that time, there was a lot of really bad CGI coming out. So I didn't really jump off the page at like, oh my god, this is garbage. But then when like looking at it now, it's hard to look at now. It looks like a car. It's so CGI. It looks like a cartoon suit on like that. They like basically like photo traced onto a person throughout the movie. It looks bad.
Yeah. And then a couple more, because honestly, I'm ready to start talking about Star Wars.
Star
But The Flash. So Ezra Miller is going to play The Flash, but that won't start shooting until 2021 because he is also in Fantastic
Is
Beasts.
that not the guy who played Flash in the Justice League?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So
Yes.
okay.
But yeah, he's in Fantastic Beasts, and so they won't start shooting anything with The Flash until that is done. Aquaman 2, so sequel is already in the works to start shooting in early 2021.
That's another bad actor right there.
Jason Momoa. People love him though.
He looks awesome.
He does look awesome.
So
I've
how
not seen
awesome he
Aquaman yet.
looks
You think he'd be a good actor?
makes up for a lot of his bad acting.
Is he going to be the next Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
No. Until he starts eating steroids for breakfast, he's not going to be the next Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And then HBO Max, what is that?
That is HBO's new streaming service to kind of combat everything else. Apparently on HBO Max there is a oh my goodness,
hoping
what is
to
that?
premiere lower budget DC movies. Got you. Oh, I see that. No Snyder cut. There's no way it's ever happening.
That's funny.
Snyder. Interesting.
I can't remember the name. There's some book series that was really popular that got released on HBO Max right now that people have actually been kind of raving about. It's called the Immortal Devices. Or maybe the Infernal Devices. I don't know. But people are kind of raving about it. It's got some good reviews. So it's 4 episodes in.
Interesting. When's the
Infernal Devices.
When does The Boys come out again?
They finished shooting it. I don't know if there is a
release date. That's the only thing I care about coming down on a streaming service.
That was a good series on Amazon
Loved it.
Prime.
Isn't the Obi-Wan series going to be dropping soon?
I don't know if it's soon. I think it hasn't even started filming yet.
I thought they started. What? I thought they
Or maybe they just started filming it. But the
I'll
Obi-Wan
introduce.
series is
Yeah,
gonna be
let's
awesome.
let's get into it. Enough of that. Our main digestion. Yeah, give it to me. Star Wars favorites. We're gonna go through our favorite Star Wars characters, sounds, scenes, quotes, and then we're gonna rank the movies
in the way we like them.
I'm not gonna put thought in that. I'm gonna go off my gut in the moment.
Love it. I definitely think people, when they hear my list, they're going to definitely disagree with it. But I'm going to tell you, this is Chris's list. This is subjective.
But people need to get out of your face.
This
That's
is
what
not
saying.
what I think
People need to
objectively are
step
the best
off.
movies. These are the ones that I prefer.
People need to step back and let you
That's
have your
what
own
I'm saying.
opinion. You're
They
your
need to
own
let
man,
me add
boo.
it. Let me add it.
All right. Let's start with our favorite characters.
Boom.
And Gene.
Oh, you want me to start first?
Gene.
So, well, we kind of intro this with our favorite memory, but I'll say for me, it's difficult for me to pick. So mine are going to be very my sample size is very small.
Wait, do you want to start with our memories? Because I
And
completely
we
skipped
can,
over
no,
that.
we can. We don't have to. But now I was just going to work mine in. But basically, because I don't really have anything to say, because
Gotcha.
you guys know, if you guys have watched the past couple episodes, that I am just watching all of them for the first time.
Powering through, baby.
Making your way downtown.
Intentionally as an adult. So my memories are not that fond because I don't have many of them. I didn't watch it as a kid.
I love the wording of that.
But yeah, I'm hoping to make them. So
You will.
there
You
go.
will, young Padawan.
But I'll start with that by saying my favorite character is Darth Maul. So
easy.
Darth Maul is awesome.
It's a dope character. Very
Super
popular pick amongst the younglings.
Didn't get the love that he should have gotten in the movie series.
Yeah, so he's super awesome. His dual-edged lightsaber.
I don't think they realized what they had. I don't think they realized
So cool.
I don't think they understood the gold that they struck with Darth Maul.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, point blank, dual-edged lightsaber is awesome. He took on 2 Jedis at once and
Defeated one.
killed one. Yeah,
Ganked 'em.
defeated one, and then,
Do you think Qui-Gon
Really
gave up right there?
but he's freaking
So
awesome.
here's what I do think. This is kind of deep lore. I think that he did give up because Yoda then tells Obi-Wan, you can go learn how to become more powerful from your master Qui-Gon, right? So Qui-Gon was essentially the first Force ghost, because to become a Force ghost, you have to sacrifice yourself. Kind of. I guess it's basically the
You mean
key
at
of
the end? You mean
sacrifice.
at the end of episode 3
Yeah,
when he
where
tells
he
him, "I can
tells
tell you to
Obi-Wan."
communicate with Qui-Gon."
Yes. And I think that's why Obi-Wan did what he did in episode 4, sacrifice himself to Darth Vader, because he knew that's how he was going to be able to help Luke succeed. So I don't think it's advert.
No, I buy that.
I think
I'm into
Qui-Gon
this.
could have accidentally sacrificed himself, though. I don't know.
Did
Did you see them? They just leak everywhere. Oh, you didn't see that? Sorry, spit just went. So you might have seen that on the video.
So,
But he might have accidentally become a Force Ghost and be like, "What did I just do?"
Well, yeah, it looks awkward when he dies, and maybe that's just like bad acting because there's a lot of bad we actually just whatever. There's a lot of bad like physical acting in those, so maybe it just looks awkward. I definitely think he gave himself up though.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty consistent thing that happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Because I think Luke did that. I think Luke gave himself up essentially. Yeah. So Gene, I'm sorry I went on a huge tangent there.
Darth Maul, dual-edged lightsaber, super awesome weapon. I was telling Chris on the way here because we were talking about the game as well. That the first. So if you played the game, the first boss kind of person that you encounter, the second sister, she has a dope. Dual-edged lightsaber.
She's an Inquisitor. You're about to learn so much about Inquisitors, dude.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Inquisitors
I need to get it.
Inquisitors are, and you learn about these in Rebels too, but they're the people that are essentially hunted. They're essentially Force users, but they're not, there's a rule of 2 in the Sith, so they're just not Sith Lords. So they're just basically like evil Jedis, and they're hunting down Jedis.
Dude, that's all. I'm going to buy it. I'm buying that in Madden over Black Friday. It doesn't even matter if it's not on sale.
Bang, bang, dude, let's go. So Chris, I'm going to get you to combine your favorite character in your best Star Wars memory into the same answer.
Yep. So memory. So for us, I think, and Kevin, I think will allude a little bit in his memory. For us, it was interesting because our first re-exposure to Star Wars was when we were kids, was the prequels, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
like for us growing up, like, yeah, I saw the original movies before and I liked them. But for me, they felt just so dated at that point. I think you would say the same thing.
Yeah, no, for
and for me, I think I loved the prequels and loved them. And so I remember when I was 10, I got like a Star Wars like cover set. Like literally my entire bed was like Star Wars, like comforter and everything, sheets, pillowcases. It was awesome. I
was
remember
it like characters or what?
Yeah, it was like characters, like all the droids. I mean, it was really cool.
Dude, that's hardcore.
I remember if y'all go back to the very first episode of NerdTurd, you'll recall the story about when I found out and realized I was a nerd. And it was when I would literally, to fall asleep growing up, I would have to dream that I was a Jedi fighting Darth Maul with a lightsaber. Like that is like the way I could fall asleep when I couldn't fall asleep.
Do you think you would stand a chance against him?
Dude, in my dreams I could.
My dreams
well, I was flipping everywhere, dog. I was flipping. But that is just for me, it just holds a really special place, especially like growing up with it is something that I love. I remember my dad, I don't know if any of y'all remember this, laser discs. Do y'all know what those are?
No, I have no idea what
so
a laser
they basically are movies back in the day that were the size, they were like DVDs before DVDs. They were like the size of like a record. Like they were huge, like literally like this big. My dad used to go to Circuit City and had a collection of laser discs. And that's what I first saw the Empire Strikes Back on. It was a thing. Google laser discs.
Oh, I'm Googling it.
They were like they were like a high-tech way of watching like movies before that came out. They were the first like movies on discs. So laser discs were awesome. It was a whole thing. It's crazy. Circuit City, pour one out for me. I used to love Circuit City. But my favorite character in Star Wars is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, the reason I like this character is I think we see a lot of sides of him. In episode 1, we see him as an apprentice. And then starting in episode 2, we see him as a Jedi Master. And I think he's one of the characters we see the most emotional, I guess, journey that he goes on from a way of like he's just not in control. Like all these things happen. Like he loses his Padawan goes to the dark side. He ends up sacrificing himself so he can eventually save his Padawan through his Padawan's son, right? Like I think his character arc is one that is super important to the story without being the main person, right? Like it would be really easy for me to say, oh, my favorite person is Darth Vader or Luke, or, like he is like the best and the most important supporting character out of anybody else. If it wasn't for Obi-Wan, balance wouldn't have been brought to the Force.
I can get down with Obi-Wan.
And Ewan McGregor did a great job. He's probably the best actor in the series. That might be a hot take.
Well, no, it's not a hot take.
He did.
I think the guy who's played. I don't know the guy who's playing Kylo, but I think he's done a really great job.
Oh yeah, emo sad boy.
Yeah.
Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's done a really great job. I think people actually care about his character a lot.
I agree
and
with
he's got he's interesting, whereas not a lot of people are right now. Han Solo is my favorite.
He's probably the best actor in the movies.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Well, I don't know if I would say his acting is better than.
He's just cool. His script is he's the best scripted
cool.
character.
He's a likable character, and like so. I will say I was watching a Star Wars documentary completely unrelated to this, just while I was like vacuuming or something, and I heard them say that that Han Solo was originally supposed to be like a green alien. That
would have been so weird.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the original concept, was him being a green alien and him having a Wookiee sidekick.
Interesting.
But no, I mean, he's like a space cowboy. He's literally just like a rogue. He's a normal dude that doesn't have like amazing superpowers, but still does like equally awesome stuff as, you know, anyone in the movie series.
And he's just smooth, dude.
He's smooth. He's slick. The ladies love him, I think.
The ladies definitely love him, dog.
Well,
I mean, he got Leia.
He did get Leia.
Princess Leia.
He did get Leia. I don't know why I wrote and described him like this, but he seems like an anime character, but in real life, I don't know. It seems like a thing. And then he could communicate with bears and robots, and he definitely shot that dude first.
He definitely shot Greedo first, 100%.
Yeah, no matter how much Disney tries to propaganda their way out of that,
change it.
How to propaganda their way out of that, he shot that dude first, just because he looked at him funny. But no, I think Han Solo. If I didn't have to pick Darth Maul, because that would have been my pick, probably. But the more I thought about it, the more I think Han Solo is a more interesting character.
I agree with that.
Until Kylo kills him for no freaking reason, like a coward. And I honestly, my favorite memory on it falls pretty much in line with yours. Like I did not dig the original prequels at first because they were just boring and old, and I thought the acting was bad and the effects were bad, and you know, like, because I didn't understand like the larger story, the larger universe, and this was like the first
and
movie.
Just what they did back when they originally came out,
right?
Like,
yeah. It was just hard
cinema.
It was hard to appreciate that because I was just
yeah.
a kid. I was 8. You know, this episode 1 came out in 1999. I was literally 8 years old.
Yeah,
and so. But in as much as people make fun of episode 1, that was the movie that kind of got me into Star Wars as a whole, because that was when I first started to realize, like, oh wait, that's the Darth Vader, but as a kid, like, this is a whole story. And that was the first movie franchise that I remember doing, like, there's this universe of things that's going on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And there's different events happening that is, you know, all going around the main event. Like, so they were making references to the Death Star, and it's like, oh,
I've seen that Death Star.
That's a thing. So I don't know. That was it. And I feel pretty good about it.
That's a solid one.
Favorite sounds. I'll go first on this because this was, when I saw this was like my first thought. The cantina. Yeah, it's literally the first noises that come to my mind.
That's awesome. Mine's R2D2.
You should give us your impressions of all of these sounds.
I honestly think R2D2 sounds kind of annoying.
No, I like R2D2 because after digging a little bit, one thing I've realized that that's not actually just sounds, that's R2D2's language. So that is like a spoken language, which also in turn shows that everyone that can speak the droids has taken the time to learn their language. So droids are like a companion and not just like a tool, basically. So I think that's kind of cool that R2D2 in his own way,
I didn't know this,
speaks a language, which I think is cool.
I mean, I figured he could communicate with droids, but
it's like how like Luke can like talk to R2D2.
Yeah,
and, like,
but you know, I thought it was kind of the same way of like, you know, you talk to your dog, you know, like, but they're a robot, so I figured that they could understand like voice commands, but when they would make noises, it was just like an acknowledgement, you know?
Yeah. No, his like binary, the way he speaks in binary is like a language that you could learn. So like the people that speak to droids have taken the time to like learn their language, which is cool. And I just think it's just cool the way it flows. Like it just like that. If you were to ask me like what a robot would sound like that's what I think about is like the beeps and the bloops.
Now here's what I wonder. I wonder if since this is news to me. I did not know that
Yeah.
R2D2 is speaking a language. I wonder if they follow the rules of that language every time that R2D2 makes a noise. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
So I will say this is cool. So BB-8 in the new movies, essentially the new R2D2. Bill Hader. Do y'all know who Bill Hader is? So he's basically an actor. He's in a couple of movies. He voiced BB-8, but what they did is his voice and his mannerisms, they put it through a synthesizer.
That's cool.
So he's like talking, but it's coming out as like droid sound. So they're even kind of mimicking that whole idea of like following the rhythm of talking and conversing. But it sound like that.
Interesting.
That's
Gene,
cool.
hit me with some sounds, baby.
All right, I put 2 on here because I couldn't decide which one I liked better. But I really love the sound of a lightsaber sheathing and unsheathing.
I can rock with
It's
that.
so cool. It's iconic. It's an iconic
It is
sound.
so awesome.
And then the other one is definitely Chewie.
I cannot do
didn't
it
even-
so bad at it.
Wow, dude.
I think I'd be so much funnier if I could do sounds and voices. I'm so bad.
So yeah, those are they tied for me. So I put both of them up there. But they're great. They're both great.
Interesting.
Star Wars is rich with sound, and the score that John Williams did
So good.
is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the score would be my favorite thing there.
Overall, yeah.
All right, so this is the one that I'm having the hardest. I'm still undecided on this, and that's the scene. Favorite scene. So favorite. Now, here's I guess what I had an issue with. Is this like an act? Is this like a segment? Is this like a I guess I had a. But I'll let you guys go. Gene, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start because I got a couple. And so again, this is where my infantile knowledge when it comes to the Star Wars universe comes in, because I don't really know many of them that well besides the like super iconic ones, and they're great, but I don't want to pick one of those. So I put a couple down that I really enjoyed that I've seen and remember seeing recently. So because I've only watched the first 2 so far, I just watched the fight in Attack of the Clones between Yoda and Dooku.
It's a great fight.
After Dooku basically dispatches Obi-Wan and Anakin fairly easily.
Yeah.
And then Yoda just kind of old man trots in with his cane until he just like literally uncloaks his lightsaber, and it just like force grabs it into his hand, and then starts. He literally parkours over the entire hangar, like everywhere.
Dude,
You know, it's
watching
just
that movie
ridiculous.
in
Hitting
the
some
theaters,
flippity flips.
that's
So
the
crazy.
loudest I've heard a theater cheer. When I can like remember sitting in that theater when he did that, everyone in the theaters like hooping and hollering.
Yeah, but that one was really cool just because it's like up until that point, like Yoda is like a Jedi Grandmaster, or like he's a Jedi Master or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. Well, and they made a bunch of references up until that point about how skilled Yoda was with a lightsaber.
Yeah, and
but
then
you never
you
saw
don't
it
see
until then.
see him doing anything but meditating and walking around really slow.
And speaking all
until,
funny.
Yeah, until that point. The other one that I put was Obi-Wan versus Anakin. And so I know I haven't actually gone back and watched this movie yet, but in Revenge of the Sith, that's the third one, right? Is that what it's called? I don't even know the names of them and the episode numbers.
I get lost in that too, honestly.
When they're fighting towards the end, and they're on the planet
Mustafar.
the lava planet with all of that crazy stuff, and Obi-Wan basically just chops Anakin to pieces
Yeah, just
and
chops
leaves him
him,
for
bro.
dead.
Chops him in the kneecaps.
It's
That's
over,
such a cool
Anakin.
fight. Yeah, that's such a cool
I've got
fight.
the high ground.
And then honorable mention was our beloved Princess Leia force zooming through
Dude,
outer
no,
space.
get that out of here. Worst scene.
That was the
in
most-
Star
Just
Wars.
kidding.
That was
That was
honestly, I think that's
God.
the scene where all the controversy and what was it? That was episode
7.
8.
8, yes, 8.
That was
Last
the
Jedi.
that was the
one.
that was the one everyone had a problem with, honestly. Just
Oh, so bad.
yeah.
But those are mine. So that's it. Limited sample size.
Mine was, and I've talked about how much like I used to dream about this, but mine was the Darth Maul fight scene, and I think that holds such a place in my mind because it was the first really awesome lightsaber fight that I saw. Like the lightsaber fights were good in the original
No, they
3. The like with Vader and Luke and
that was better, but the
that
one
was
between
good, but definitely not the way you think Jedis are supposed to move. I agree with that.
the one between Obi-Wan and Vader was
Terrible,
just like
worthless,
so anticlimactic.
Yes, it was bad. But I just remember being so enthralled with that, and kind of as I've gotten older, listen to it. So John Williams, when he scored that, this is really awesome. He said that he wanted this scene to feel like church. He said he wanted this scene to have like religious overtones and feel almost like a ritual. And so that's why like it has like the chanting, that song that that I've kept doing. That song.
That one?
Yeah, that's called Duel of the Fates is the name of it. And that's why that one is so perfect for that scene, is because it makes them feel like it's like this light versus darkness battle, like this demon-looking Darth Maul versus these Jedi that are supposed to represent the heroes. There's a lot of like religious overtones. It just feels awesome.
Yeah, that's
a good scene.
It's pretty hardcore. Again, I'm still undecided, so I'm just going to go with my gut on this. This is also a scene that people had a lot of problems with, just because what it means, it kind of breaks the logic of everything we've seen in Star Wars at this point, is when they turn down that Rebel like cruise ship and then light speed it through the Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember being like blown away.
It was amazing.
That scene just looked incredible. It was just it was the way that they even handled the sound. It was like subtle bass when it hit light speed and goes through the Star Destroyer, and you just instantly see the Star Destroyer like split awesome. In half. That scene was just like amazing in my mind. Now, logically, it just destroys everything in Star Wars. Like, why didn't they just do that to the Death Star? Why didn't like why don't
you could do that?
Why don't they take any ship and just fly it through a Star Destroyer?
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. But that would probably be the scene that I remember most. Probably the most like hype scene is probably during the Darth Maul, Anakin, Obi-Wan, when they're all in different, specifically when they're all in different sections being walled off.
Oh yeah, with the laser walls, and Darth Maul's just pacing, and
Darth Maul's pacing.
Qui-Gon gets on his knees.
Qui-Gon kills his lightsaber, starts meditating, and then as soon as the walls open up, Obi-Wan's still not with him, but then Qui-Gon and Darth Maul are like, all right, let's freaking do it.
And then Qui-Gon gets down, dude.
And then Qui-Gon gets stabbed in the chest, and then he's gone. But yeah, those are probably my favorite scenes.
Good choices.
Now, we're going to go with quotes. I'm going to get right into it. It's the best quote in Star Wars. Now, that's what I call pod racing. That's at the end of Phantom Menace, young little Anakin. He's saving the day and just gets very excited and says the most meme-y quote in all of Star Wars. There's actually a podcast. I don't know if it's good. I'm sure it is. I'm sure they're wonderful. If they're vulgar and offensive, then I'm sorry I said this, but there's a podcast that's called Now That's What I Call Podcasting, and it's about Star Wars.
That's funny.
I saw that and I was like,
that's funny. I feel like it's funny that we all picked, I feel like, meme kind of quotes instead of like really like good quotes.
This one,
because mine is super meme.
I have one that I thought of literally the moment before we started, and that was when Yoda walks up on Palpatine as he was trying to escape, and then hits him with, "If so powerful you are, why leave?"
Yeah, we watched that
That's
scene right before we started.
That's when he
recording.
pulls out that lightsaber. Then Yoda, falls down 200 flights of stairs equivocally, and then just like gets up and is like, "Well, I guess I gotta go now."
Yeah, I guess we'll leave.
But
I guess I'll go hide in a swamp for.
We'll get into it later, but Chris and I had very different opinions on that.
Yeah, we can get into that. My quote is also from Anakin. This is Anakin in episode 2 when he's talking to Padme, and he says they're talking about being in the Naboo beautiful grasslands, and he says, "I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here." As he's stroking Padme's arm.
Oh my gosh, I remember this!
Everything is soft and smooth.
Dude, yeah, I just watched that.
Let me tell you this. The script did not set up Hayden Christensen to win in this movie.
But not only that, how he delivered many of these
so
scenes.
awkward. He was not ready as an actor to do that.
Oh god, what was he saying?
Episode 3, he was so much better. This one was bad.
The first time he's like venting to Leia about how unfair Obi-Wan is like, he's so jealous.
Yeah.
He's always been against me, but he's been fair as a Jedi Master.
Yeah, he said something like,
whatever.
The kiss you never should have gave me, and now it's become a scar. Like, the quotes are just
I'm in
so
agony.
bad. It's It's just so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, you can pretty much pick anything he says in
Episode 2.
Episode 2,
and just rip it out of canon, and you'd be fine.
or just make a bumper sticker out of it.
Gosh.
All right, Gene, you're up, baby.
I have spoken.
That's it. That's your favorite.
That's
dude.
great.
I
dude.
love it because
It does
so-
stand
awesome.
out.
It's so simple. It stands out. It's repeatable. It makes me laugh every time I say it. At this point, I actually had a friend of ours, Mary Beth. She was
Okay.
telling me that she and her dad were watching The Mandalorian the other night, and she said that now after everything he says, I have spoken.
I've spoken.
Like they
That's
just
great.
finished watching the episode, and he says it after everything he says now.
We got to talk about something after this podcast, Gene.
That's awesome. I have spoken. Great quote.
All right, now we're gonna rank these movies.
Rank these movies. I'll give you mine fast. I'll give you a brief. First movie, Return of the Jedi. Favorite one. I love the story, how everything comes full circle. Honestly, real quickly, in my opinion, I think that the last 3 movies, episode 7 through 9, should have been made separate and not like a continuation of a storyline. I think it should just be like 3 movies of the thing, because I think the story of Anakin Skywalker from episode 1 to 6 is the perfect bringing balance to the Force. I think it's the perfect story, and I wish they wouldn't have said that this is a continuation of the story. So Return of the Jedi. I love the Ewoks. I love that C-3PO becomes their king and then basically leads them all to slaughter against the Empire. I think that's really funny. I love that. Second one, Empire Strikes Back. Now, a lot of people say this is the best movie, period, out of everything. I just think it did a lot. I remember before knowing that Vader was Luke's father, like being astounded. Like that was just a striking thing, and I cannot imagine what people felt like watching that in the theater. Like I couldn't imagine. So I remember seeing that first time. After that, The Last Jedi. Now, like I said, these are just my favorite ones, and so I really liked The Last Jedi. I thought it was super entertaining. I thought the acting was good. The throne room fight where they fight a Snoke in
That's
the throne
hardcore.
room was amazing. I love that fight. After that, I'm going to go with A New Hope. A New Hope is super slow, but I think it just means a lot to Star Wars, and I feel like that's one of the movies that you really get to appreciate the music and just the world that's been created. I think it does a lot for that. After that is The Phantom Menace. Now, a lot of people put this at the very bottom of their list, but for me, kind of like we talked about, being my first foray into Star Wars and just Darth Maul and pod racing in general, I love The Phantom Menace. After that, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is a good movie. It's where you first see the turn of Anakin to the dark side fully. But other than that, it seems for me just like, I don't know, just like an okay movie. Nothing like crazy happens. It's important for the story. After that, The Force Awakens. Now, the reason this is so low on my list is really it's just a repeat. I mean, if I'm being honest, everyone knows it is complete redo of episode 4, and it's fine and it's beautiful, and you know, you get to meet Rey, you get to meet Ben Solo, you get to meet all these things, but I just don't think it's that good of a story in episode 7. And then my least favorite out of all of them, Attack of the Clones. But I actually really like Attack of the Clones. It's just so terrible the first 45 minutes. Take the first 45 minutes out, and Attack of the Clones would probably be up way higher, because I don't have time to listen to the government politics and listen to prepubescent Anakin Skywalker talk about how he doesn't like sand. That's not what I need in my life.
All right, there we go. Gene, you wanna take it off, or
So I'm not gonna rank them because I haven't seen them
Ooh,
all.
I
So
like it.
I'm
I
gonna
like
save
it.
it until
Save
I've
it.
seen them all, and then I'll give you guys a rank,
I like
a fresh
it.
ranking
Full
of
ranking.
all of them.
all right, I got you. So we're going best to worst, right?
Yep, best to worst, just ones you like.
Now-
I guess I should have gone worst
Now,
first.
I guess this is a question. I don't think you did, but are we including like Rogue One? So
I didn't do this. I did
Okay.
like the main Skywalker saga.
Great. Number 1, Empire Strikes Back.
Great one.
Number 2, A New Hope.
Hmm.
This is where it gets tough,
Yeah.
because I am way higher on Revenge of the Sith than most people.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna go Revenge of the Sith here at my
Ooh.
3 spot.
Over Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is actually fairly low on my list.
Okay.
The Last Jedi, episode 7, this comes in right here.
Yeah.
No,
8.
8, episode 8. All right.
It's tough.
I'd probably go Force Awakens right here.
Okay.
Then Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Because I do think, I am with you on this. There are similarities.
There's more than similarities.
But I think
it's the safest recreation of a movie I've ever seen in my life.
I just don't buy it. I mean, like, they killed Han Solo.
Yeah.
Like, by his son. Like, they killed one of the most, like, iconic Star Wars characters ever.
I mean, Obi-Wan got killed by Vader at the end of 4.
But he gave himself up. Han Solo.
Han probably would have given him. I mean, I think
he probably
would
have. But in that moment, he thought he was breaking through his son.
It just follows the same theme. Like, yeah, it's a little different, but still, you have a main character dying in the movie. Like, I mean, it's.
But I wouldn't consider
thing.
Obi-Wan at that point the way that, as a main character, the way that Han Solo has been. Han Solo's been screen time in tenfold.
Just because it was the first. If you look at the whole story, I would disagree. But I agree with that in the first movie.
Let's see here. Then Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
At a tie at the bottom.
Just
sitting
I mean,
at the base.
Attack of the Clones is, especially when I rewatched them. I knew that the world was just like, okay, these are bad movies. The prequels are terrible. Attack of the Clones, when I rewatched it, is one of the worst cinematic adventures that I've ever embarked on. It's just tough. It's tough to watch it.
Yeah,
especially when you like know the story. Like, so once you know the story and it's not like a surprise, and you know, like you've learned what that movie has to offer you, and you're just watching it as a movie. It's hard to chew. It's like chewing grizzle.
That's bad.
When you've got 7 of the 9, or 6 of the 8. What's this math? 7. Honestly, because Phantom Menace wasn't as bad as Attack of the Clones. The only one that I would consider a bad movie is Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But there you have it.
There it is.
And then I do think Rise of the Skywalker is going to be really low on my list.
Interesting. We'll see.
Wow.
Unless they do my theories. We'll get into our theories later on this month. Maybe in like an episode or two. Or
yeah, as we get closer.
Yeah, as we get closer, we'll do a theories episode and have some hot ones.
Hot ones.
But that's pretty much everything that I have here.
Yeah, be watching out.
We don't have anything to flush with this week, right?
No, just remember that our gift exchange is coming up as well. So
our gift exchange is coming up, and I got
everyone and anybody. Yeah, Chris has already
I got
told us on multiple occasions
for
that he has some bangers of gifts. So if you guys have any good ideas that you want to send our way for us to get each other, or i.e. Kevin and I to get each other
bangers,
because Chris has already got
bangers,
then
hey, what do you got?
Let us know.
Bangers.
Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 31 of the NerdTurd podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our socials at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at NerdTurd Follow us on Twitch. Make sure to leave us a rating on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called now. Subscribe if you're new. Be sure to check us out on YouTube and hit us up on Discord. See you later. Cue the music.
Thank you for listening to the NerdTurd podcast, a podcast devoted to consuming and digesting all things nerd and expelling it out for the world to hear. If you enjoyed listening, you can support us by following and subscribing on all social media platforms at NerdTurdPod and leaving us a rating and review wherever you listen. We hope we've given you something to digest in your nerd life. From all of us here at NerdTurd, keep it nerd, and we'll see you soon.